What's going on, guys? Zane here, back with another video. For this one we have the alternating sums problem. So basically we're given an array here and we're being told to provide alternating sums. So this one here, the 50, the first number will be part of team 1, the third number is part of team 1, the fifth number is part of team 1, etc. So every other number is the same team. So team 1, team 1, team 1, team 2, team 2. Anyway, the output here is also another array or another vector, and the 180 is by taking 50, skipping, 60, skipping, and 70. Add those three up and you get 180. Anyway, so let's jump into here. So what we want to do first is take a look at the function. We have a return type of vector, which is of type int, and we're also being passed in a vector of type int. So we need to get two values. So let's create our variables for that. The two variables would be for storing the weight or the total number for a group 1. And we can set that to 0. We'll also do the same thing for group 2. Now, once we have both those set, we now need a vector to be used as our answer, because in the expected output you'll see here it's essentially an array or a vector that we need to return. So we need to create one that we can use later on. So we'll do standard vector and it will be of type int, and that's going to be our answer here. So now what we want to do is, as we loop through our array or vector that we're passed in, we want it to alternate the numbers and then add them to their respective group. In order to do that, we can use the mod operator. If we were to do mod 2 of a particular number, what would be the answer if it was even? If a number mod 2 is equal to 0, that means it is even. The reason for that is because any number divided by 2 should have no remainder, because it'll evenly divide into 2, and therefore, since a number is a multiple of 2, it is an even number. So by using that concept of even or odd numbers, or even or odd indexes perhaps, then we can essentially program something that will use that concept as alternating, or it's either odd or even. So it's either odd, even, true, false, group 1, group 2, and whatever way you want to put it, you can use that as some sort of alternating concept. So here's what I mean by that. We'll first have to loop through our input array, or in this case it's just the vector called a. So we'll do a.size. Now, if we do if the index mod 2 is equal to 0, what do we want to do? So if we have our index mod 2 and that's equal to 0, that means we are at an even index. So for this case, since 0 was part of group 1, or index 0 was part of group 1 right over here, we'll want to add anything that's even to group 1. So what we can do now is, if we take the number at this element, so we'll do a at I plus equals, whoops, we need to do group 1 plus equals a at I. So we're essentially just adding that element at that index to the group, to its respective group. Now if I mod 2 does not equal 0, so we're assuming here that this is now an odd number, we'll do the same thing, except we just add it to group 2. Now we have both of our groups now. because it's gone through the entire input array or vector, and it's now added that number to our assigned groups. Now that we have that, all we need to do is actually return our array. Now we have our two groups, and this is why we had created the answer vector, because we wouldn't be able to actually output something like this. We can't just say return group 1 comma group 2. In Python you can actually do this, but here we cannot. Let's just run the test. Compilation error expected, blah blah blah. Maybe this will work, imagine. Nope. Anyway, so now that we have our two groups, all we need to do is push back these groups to our answer. So we'll do answer.pushback. And what do we want to push back first? We'll do group 1 first. And then I'll copy this, do it again, do it for number 2, push back both of these. Once that's pushed back, I just want to return answer. Run the test. And there you go. So again, all we did here is used our modulus operator to see if it's a even or odd index, and if it is, then we categorize it however we want. Either even is group 1 or odd is group 1, doesn't matter, but just stick to a particular group being at a particular even or odd number, and we would use our index in this case to check to see which one is even or odd. Then we actually take the element and add it to the group, push back both numbers to the answer vector, and then return the vector. Anyway, that's it for this one. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button, show me some love, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.